Our desires, our needs, our wants, all the things that we are trying to achieve, all the goals that we set for ourselves, these things come with a cost. These things come to us with a price. There's a price that we cannot avoid about on every single aspect of our life. And it's important to recognize what the price is, what it is we need to pay, what it is that we need to do in order to be able to reach the destination, or at least get close. I say get close because not every goal is meant to be reached fully. Our goals will change in the journey of going after the desires, the goals. Our goals will not be constant, right? This sailing into the ocean is the best analogy of it. There's no one route. The ocean is huge, and the wind, the waves, the days, the rain, the nights, and the traffic of other ships coming in and going, and there's so much more that comes with the journey of a sailor. And so every route is going to be an entirely different experience, and every route is worth the voyage. That's how we really need to look at every single one of our goals in life. Getting after them, setting deadlines, daily deadlines, weekly deadlines, monthly and annual deadlines, and checking in with ourselves to see where we sit, where we're at today on those deadlines, where we're at with our desires, with our needs, with the amount of progress we've made so far, but to not get lost, and to also recognize and ask ourselves, am I still interested in this? How do I feel about it today? Am I still as into it as I was last year? Am I still pushing for it the same way, with the same enthusiasm, with the same level of love and appreciation as I was before? And is the goal still there for me? Life is moving super quickly, and as we start to achieve towards or thrive and push towards longer goals for ourselves, we must accept and just recognize at some point that as life is changing, our goals will change. Our goals will not be the same. The places we want to live, the jobs we wish to have, the partners we want to be with, the relationships we want to maintain, these things are always constantly changing. It is not just us aging, it is also our behaviors, our existence that are evolving, hopefully for the better, but we are also mentally moving in life in different rates. And this is why maintaining a relationship with one person is a very extremely difficult thing to pull off for an entire lifelong. This is because two people are constantly evolving on their own. And if they're not evolving on their own, then there might be a bigger problem there. They might be too static in order to be able to maintain this relationship, right? And that in itself then leads to all sorts of resentment 30, 40 years into a long marriage because they have lost touch with who they were. So the idea is to be able to evolve individually and at the same time maintain the bond of a relationship. And that same approach can be said and can be applied to how we approach every other aspect of our lives, every desire, everything that we're working towards, right? Today I went for a run earlier in the morning, and I can no longer run the way I used to when I was a teenager, and that's fine, but I have to alter the way I train my body. If I give myself the same level of discipline, the same level of rigorous training, then I would easily pull tendons out and just injure my joints terribly bad. And the way I used to train, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, is no longer applicable to my life today. Even if I could do it, it would be unnecessary because I'm not competing in any kind of athletic events, right? So that recognition allows me to actually modify what I need to do today in order to make myself or maintain a better shape and work towards my longevity. There's a difference there. And that applies to every career we choose, right? And every task we take, and it also applies to our longer goals in life. It applies to the vacations that we seek to take, the desires we have to maybe live somewhere far away on a beach, move to a different country. Every single one of these goals are goals that take a long time to develop. And in that long span of time, a lot can change. It's important to check in, to understand, and to be aware of where we're at in that journey, and to be able to ask ourselves, is it still worth it? Do I still want it? Is there anything else that I've discovered so far? I am 40%, 50% in. Is there anything else I've discovered so far that is worth a detour? There's going to be so much in life that's going to be worth the detour. And the entire human experience is to say yes or no to the detours as they appear in our journey of life. To say yes or no to the opportunities that come our way, and as we pause for a second on our path and wonder, should I take a right turn here and pursue this thing? Or should I continue on my journey? And these are some of the toughest decisions. Again, these come within our relationships, right? We find another person and we're suddenly attracted and we have a beautiful connection with that girl. What to do then? Do you leave your partner for someone new, or do you stay within, you say no to this new beautiful thing that could be the potentiality of something beautiful that can be created, right? There is no wrong or right answer. Same applies to our careers. You just found yourself a cool job, moved to a city that you thought you would be wanting to live in, and suddenly an offer comes to you elsewhere, and it's hard to say no to that or let go of this one. Life is a duality. It is a constant battle of us trying to make the best decisions for ourselves and to not let go of the other possibilities that are being presented to us. If we completely let go of the possibilities, then we are blindfolding ourselves and moving through life, and that leads to that grumpy 70, 80-year-old man who is just annoyed at everything, and no one knows why this person is so grumpy, right? That's not the life I choose for myself. I have to acknowledge that in my journey, I may have to take some detours. I may have to stop for a second and enjoy the view. I may have to stop for a second and take a U-turn and explore something back there that I might have missed. And maybe in some of those moments, I will have a bit of a regret. I will have a bit of a regret for taking the time to stop, or maybe I will have a bit of a regret for taking the U-turn, but I do trust, and we must all trust the fact that if you do not move through life based on your instincts and your intuitions, then you're only building more resentment and more regrets down the road for yourself. And that is the hardest thing to accept. That is the hardest thing to understand. If I were to leave this city today, I would be saying goodbye to so many loved ones, so many friends and family members, right? I would be saying goodbye to a lot of my students, a lot of my colleagues, families that I've gotten to know, and the places that I love to be in, right? And that courage to say goodbye to anything, as you feel so much attachment towards it, allows you to move on to elsewhere. But you must have a deep level of trust that somewhere beyond this place, not only there's something better, but you're going to make the best of it no matter what. You are choosing to move in a certain direction, and you are welcoming every consequence that might come with it. The worst thing we can do, especially as men, is to live in a constant space, mental space of fear and regret. Fear of what might happen, and a lingering level of anxiety, a fear of consequences, reactions, compulsions of stuff that might be happening around us during the rest of today or in the near future, and the regret of the past, of the moments that we let go of, the detours that we've taken or the detours that we did not take, the opportunities that came our way and we said no to, or the opportunities that came our way and we said yes to, and we let go of our path in order to be able to be in that place. The truth is, you can only be in one place at any given time in life, and that, just by simple mathematics, means that you have to let go of way more opportunities than the one that you actually say yes to. You can only say yes to one thing because there's only one of you. In this life, there's only one of you. But by saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to millions of other outcomes. Maybe an infinity of numbers of outcomes, right? And you have to trust that journey. If you regret, if you live in that regret, in that constant feeling of what if, you are ruining your life. You need to let go of that. You need to let go of feeling the guilt and the regret for saying yes or no to anything, and trust the fact that you're making the best decisions for yourself as you move through life. And you also need to let go of the fears. If I go this way, what might happen? If I don't go this way, what might happen? If I go this direction, what would someone say about me? What happens if it leads to nowhere? Who would judge me? Let go of the fears, let go of the guilt and the regrets, and move through life like you've done this before. Move through life like you own this place. You've done it 1,000 other times, and every single time it has worked in your favor, and every single human being that's ever come and entered your life has been there to help, to serve you, to make your life a better place, to teach you something new. Move through life with that consistent and courageous belief. Till next time, thank you.